We can't hear you. That's why you're supposed to do a mic check before the show starts.
I did. I said, Caleb.
Yeah, and if I didn't respond, why would you go live?
Because you didn't say, I can't hear you.
I didn't even, because I didn't hear you. Why would I say I didn't hear you if I couldn't hear you?
Welcome, everybody, to Good Friends, Better Rivals. I'm your host, Ferris Muthana, and the guy right next to me who doesn't help me out ever, never,
Well, you could
ever.
if you helped yourself out by doing a mic check first.
You know what, man? You're on the couch when we're in Vegas, okay?
No.
Yes.
What?
For this exact moment. It doesn't matter. You've gone through enough pain for today because we'll talk about what happened during championship weekend that just happened, as well as previewing the Super Bowl. Next week, we'll be taking the week off because, Super Bowl preparations, and there's nothing really much to talk about because the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. Not a lot of news drops that week because they want the NFL wants everyone to focus on the Super Bowl. So literally nothing drops. You ever notice that, Caleb? Super Bowl, like the last week of the Super Bowl, nothing really drops. It's just Super Bowl because they want you to talk about the Super Bowl for the entire week. I said, you're not slick, the NFL. I know what you're doing. But without further ado, let's talk about a championship weekend. A worst nightmare occurred.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles beat the living snot out of the Washington Commanders 55-23. Makes sense. Did you expect it to go 55-23, Caleb? Was that something you expected?
I expected a high-scoring game. I said on Ben the NFL that I was taking over, so I did expect a lot of points to be put up because
Did they hit the over?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, they scored.
I didn't know what the over was.
They hit the over by themselves.
Okay. The over was
only like 47.5.
Really?
Yeah.
But they scored 36 and 33 their last matchup. That was over 60 points. Why would
the over was the over?
Damn,
I mean, that's what it was.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it was a very easy bet to hit. That's why I picked it on the show, and that's why you come to me. That's why you watch betting info.
Exactly. That's why you watch betting info. You want money? Where's my money? Damn it! I don't have a money thing. Damn it. Sorry, Caleb. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah. So I definitely expected a high scoring game. I just didn't think it was going to be a blowout, and it wouldn't have been a blowout. The Washington didn't just fumble the game away. Basically,
your money, Caleb. Your money, man. And you don't even know it. That's.
But yeah, if they didn't make all those turnovers, it would have been a much closer game. Wouldn't have been a blowout, but still would have been high scoring. We've seen the Washington put up a lot of points. Obviously,
well, 23 points.
Saquon Barkley can take over a game.
23 points. Is that really a lot?
No, I'm saying nowadays? before we've seen them points in previous games, especially they dropped the 40, previous week against the Lions.
They dropped 40 on 40, 45, 48.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think that was expected to, and they would have, like I said, they would have produced that many points if they didn't turn over the ball because they were going up and down the field. They were driving the ball on the Eagles. Even though everybody says how great their defense is, that they were moving the ball on them. So
they rely on turnovers. The Eagles defense, yeah. They're turnover and situational defense. They're a bend don't break defense. They get turnovers and they stop you when they need to stop you, like on third downs, red zones. Yeah. Sometimes that's what most defense. That's what sometimes that wins you Super Bowls because that's what the Chiefs have been. Were before Spagnuolo. When they won their first Super Bowl, they stopped you when they needed to stop you, and they got a lot of turnovers. But then, that kind of runs out when Spagnuolo kind of changed the team. Now they're solid.
Well, I think defense. They just got more better players now because they obviously drafted a lot of players.
Yeah, they did. They drafted.
Yeah, a lot of the previous Super Bowls, they were a lot of young players that they just drafted. On those Chiefs teams, and that's why they weren't very good.
Yeah, now they're
now they've had time to develop, and now you see the stars like
Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel. They're two young linebackers they drafted, and they added Drew Tranquil from San Diego. Los Angeles. Sorry. They drafted Trent McDuffie. They drafted Chris Jones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of their young talent just developed now, and now you see how good they are.
They drafted Milton Williams. underrated player, Milton Williams. No one really talks about Milton Williams because Chris Jones is his teammate. Oh no, Milton Williams is on the Eagles. My bad. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, that
Mike Purnell. That's who it is. Mike Purnell. My bad. Mike Purnell. That's what I was thinking of. Mike Purnell. Continue.
But yeah, you were saying, they, the Eagles defense just relies a lot on the turning over the ball, but also the Washington just didn't handle the ball good. I mean, a lot of their turnovers were on themselves for not taking care of it. So I think they hurt themselves a lot in that game. And that's why they lost. Why is he? Obviously, we knew Saquon Barkley was going to do what he did. I mean, I don't think we had any disagreement on what he could do against Washington's defense. I mean, I knew how Dan Quinn's defense gives up a lot on the run, and that just was going to happen. And it was about whether they can keep pace with them on offense, and they didn't because they turned over the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's what we make fun of Dan Quinn. I remember when I made fun of Dan Quinn when he first became a Cowboy DC, when his linebacker gave up a wheel route to your fullback. Was it Dare Ogumuwale? Remember that Hard Knocks clip? And we talked about it and we joked about it, but there was some truth to it. You can run on Dan Quinn's defenses. Your running back can have a great day. You want to know a running back who had a great day against Dan Quinn's defense that cost him a Super Bowl? James White. Remember James White? His linebackers couldn't cover James White or his safeties. James White has the fun fact about James White, Caleb. He actually owns the record for most receptions in a Super Bowl. I think he has 18. He had 18 receptions or like 15. My bad. I think it was like 15 maybe. But 15 for a running back, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot, because Tom Brady saw a matchup and said, you guys can't stop this matchup. And he basically spammed it all night long. And guess what happened? The game-winning touchdown in the overtime against the Falcons was a route by James White. I think it was like a little wheel route, like a little curl into the wheel, dumps it off, scores a touchdown. It's over. The biggest collapse in Super Bowl history.
But like in that Super Bowl, the offense did not help them out, knowing that that can happen to Dan Quinn defense.
Run the ball.
Yeah,
the offense didn't run the ball.
Run the ball. They turned it over a time or two, and just like in this game, they turned it over a bunch. They didn't help the defense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So even though he may have some weaknesses in his defense, in both those times the offense did nothing to cover his ass, and that's what we call playing complementary or playing as a team.
Complementary football, yes.
Yeah, they didn't get any help on that during this game.
Yeah, man, and it was a good story about the Commanders. It was a very good story. Rookie quarterback, upset the number 1 seed, had a good year. I'm going to be tortured for the next 15 years because the Giants are now the 4th best team in the league in the division. That's a fact. When we do our positional group rankings, the Giants are going to be last on a lot of those rankings. A lot, like almost all of them. Probably all of them.
All of them.
Probably all
not
of them.
position group.
No. It's like all of them. Like DBs, linebackers, D-line, O-line, definitely. Running back, definitely. QB, absolutely. Wide receiver, hell yes. It's all of them are like the Giants are going to be last on all of them, And the reason, you said Jaden Daniels is better than Danny Jones. I said you're probably right, but he's a rookie.
I told you that's why I had him ranked ahead of him. Like I know,
but I told you my reasoning. No, but you can't get mad at me for my reason. I said rookies. I don't.
But you can know. But sometimes you just know.
Well, it's because everybody's better than Daniel Jones, man. So like.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You just know.
Man. Whatever. All right, let's move on.
He will be better.
Hey, let's move on. Shut your face. Let's move on. The game of the week, the game really people were really watching was Chiefs, Bills, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. That was the game of the match. Chiefs, like we said, Caleb.
Yeah.
They did it, man. The voodoo got it. A lot of complaints. They won by 3. A couple of, people are kind of mad because people think Josh Allen got that first down on that rush. Huh?
He did.
Well,
He
here's the thing.
clearly
No,
showed the
because here's the
line.
thing. Here's the thing.
They literally showed the line, and he was over.
But no, okay, I agree with you, right? But they always, every time on the broadcast, they say, "Oh, this line is an
But
estimation."
not even the line. They if either saw a video where they literally did a different angle where they showed where the line
like the chain gang where the one was
yeah.
where the thing was, he crossed it.
And they had the camera like split where it showed he was clearly over.
Yeah. See, and then people, saying it's a little rigged and blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing, Caleb. Here's the thing. Yes, all of that happened. He still had 2 minutes to tie the game or win the game at the end of the game. Like we talked about Lamar Jackson, his interceptions and his turnovers. Lamar still had a chance to tie the game up. And he did. He took them and he scored on the Bills. Mark Andrews is an imbecile. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is only down 3. He has the ball in his hands with what? Was it 2 minutes left? Or was it like a minute and something? Like, what was it? Like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
it was like 2 minutes. I think it was like if you round up, it's like 2 minutes. It's 2 minute drill. You still had, what I mean? Because I understand, you if you mess up earlier on the game, it happens. Because sometimes it happens. But then you can also make up for it later. You had a chance to tie the game or win the game at the end of the game. And you didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I like Josh Allen. I think he's a good quarterback. But you're down 3. Basically 2 minutes left. You have a chance to tie the game or win the game. And you go 3 and out. You go 3 and out. Either so like on the 4th down play, by the way, it was a jailbreak. They're going after him. Nobody gets blocked. Like Caleb, on that last play, no one's blocked. Like, no one gets blocked. And I'm like, how did that happen? But he still, because he has a cannon of an arm, like literally a cannon, he throws the ball. And it hits was it Dalton Kincaid? Because I was confused. It was a Dalton or Dawson. I don't know which one it was. Was it Dalton Kincaid?
It was one of them.
One of them. Yeah. It hits his forearm. He dropped it. You should have adjusted better. You still had a chance to win the game. And you know what? You failed. It happens. You had a chance to win the game because either you win the game by scoring a touchdown or you tie the game with a field goal. One or the other. And you didn't do much. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not that you didn't even do it. It's that it was like a 4 or 5 and out. Like that. And they brushed you like the Chiefs defense brushed you off like a fly on a windshield.
And
it crumbled.
And that's the thing. It's not just their quarterback made the plays. It's their team made the plays. It's their defense made the play. It's always something, or their special teams made a play that got them the win. It's the whole team makes the play, and that's why the Chiefs always go to the Super Bowl because everybody steps up. Every single person. Patrick Mahomes does what he needs to do to get the win. The defense does what they do. The special teams, the coaching, everything. Everybody just does exactly what they need to do to get the win, and that's why they keep coming up on top. And you don't get that from all the other teams that seem lose either one piece or that guy or something happens and they don't get the win because they don't step up in the moment. They don't and they can't do it. And like we always say, nobody else is doing it. It's only the Chiefs is doing it consistently.
Yeah, because here's the thing too. They traded L'Jarius Sneed this offseason. He wanted a big contract. They're like, we're not going to give it to you. Sayonara. L'Jarius Sneed, who was one of their best corners last year. Guess where L'Jarius is and guess where the Chiefs are?
I don't even know.
Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl and L'Jarius is in Tennessee.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't know.
Yeah, I think he's in Tennessee. Let me double check.
I have no idea. Probably. I've never heard his name all season.
Yep, Tennessee. I was right. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, they traded him to Tennessee. And he's the guy who forced the fumble on Zay Flowers. He made the play last year. He was it was him and Trent McDuffie. They were the lockdown guys. And that's what happened. They were, because if you talk about it, their defense last year was pretty good because the cornerbacks were amazing. In the Super Bowl, guess which receiver the Niners, which receiver had a great game it was Jawan Jennings, their receiver 3, because L'Jarius and Trent stopped Ayuk and Debo. And Jawan had a great game. Jawan was going to be Super Bowl MVP if the Niners won that. But, Brock Purdy missed Brian Ayuk on a game-winning touchdown. But that's here nor there. They traded L'Jarius. They replaced him with, let me see, like Trent McDuffie. Like Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, Keith Taylor Jr.? Do you know these people? No. It's because Steve Spagnuolo knows how to accentuate people's strengths. Let me tell you about the New York Giants defense that won in 07 and in 2011. You remember our corners?
Like, I don't remember.
It was Corey Webster and Aaron Ross. Those were our corners. Would you say those are Hall of Fame corners? They're really good corners. They're good corners.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
They were good. They're fine. They're okay. No, they were good. Now your bias is showing, Caleb. They were good corners, but they weren't Darrelle Revis.
They played well in the playoffs.
Well, it's because Spags got accentuated. Shout out to Kenny Phillips and Antrell Roll, the Miami the backfield for them. But yeah, you give Spags a couple of great pieces, some good pieces. He'll make some magic. In 2007, that defensive line was the magic. It was Strahan, Tuck, Barry Cofield, Matthias Q and Nuka, OCU Manura, and he made it work. In 2011, they threw in Jason Pierre-Paul, Chris Canty. You know what I mean? Antonio Pierce was with the first team, the linebacker go with him and Kavika Mitchell. And then you had Chase Blackburn, who was the linebacker in 2011. Chase Blackburn, dog. Chase Blackburn, you know what Chase Blackburn is, Caleb? He's Leo Chanel and Drew Tranquil in one. He basically recreated Chase Blackburn in Kansas City. That's what he did. And then don't even, the safeties in the back. Brian Cook, Jaden Hicks, Justin Reed. That's Kenny Phillips, Antrell Roll. That's who they are. And then on the defensive line, Chris Jones is Justin Tuck, basically. Derek Nottie and Charles Omenihu is the OCU Manura. He's the pass rusher. Felix, same thing. Felix Anduki Uzama from Kansas State. It's just, he's an amazing defensive coordinator, and he's a special talent. And sometimes he may never be a head coach because he was a head coach in St. Louis. They were bad. They're bad. But he's probably gonna go down as one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time. Him and Dick LeBeau. If you want to put assistants in the Hall of Fame, you can put him, Dick LeBeau, and the Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator who basically created Peyton Manning. You can put them in the Hall of Fame. And and honestly, no one would probably bat an eye. Dick LeBeau is in the Hall of Fame, by the way, but he's not as a coach, as a player though. Dick LeBeau, one of the greatest DBs in Detroit Lions history. I think he has over 60 interceptions. I think. Yeah, Dick LeBeau. I think shout out to Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau. Yeah, he played cornerback for the Lions for 14 years. 14 years, man. He was three-time second team All Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. Yeah, man. He has over 60 interceptions or something like that. He has 62 interceptions, Caleb. He has 62 interceptions in his career. Shout out to Dick LeBeau. In a time where you didn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
And he had over 60 interceptions. Shout out to Dick LeBeau. He also was a national champion, by the way, as well, at Ohio State. He was I think that was with that was with Chuck. Was it Woody Hayes? Was it Woody Hayes? Yeah, Woody Hayes. Yeah, but now we got the Super Bowl. We got a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, round 2. Dallas Goedert, Travis Kelce, round 2. Jason Kelce will not be there. He will not be there. No, we would not have a Kelce Bowl. But there's a difference for the Eagles. They have a home run hitter in the backfield. The name of the game is you got to score more points, but also against the Chiefs, you know what you do? You got to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. And how do you do that? You run the ball. You keep time of possession, and you don't let him on the field. Because that's how they beat Jaden Daniels, Caleb. Jaden Daniels got on the field, and the next time he got on the field, the Eagles were up, I think 27, because they kept the ball and they caused some turnovers. So he was on the sideline for a solid 15 minutes.
That's because they fumbled the kickoff.
Exactly. He wasn't on the field yet. That's what the Eagles need to do. They need to force turnovers and run the ball. And here's the thing too. The Chiefs are susceptible to some turnovers, some bad interceptions by Patrick Mahomes. Magically, it's always some type of flag on the play that wipes the turnover off the board. I don't want to point anything out. But yes, Patrick Mahomes is susceptible to throwing some stupid interception. Zach Braun and Jacoby Dean are going to have their hands full with the 2 running backs, with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. They run hard and they run fast, and they're not afraid to hit you. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win the game because I can't pick the Eagles. It's not going to happen. But if the Eagles win, that's how they'll win. They ran the ball. They got some turnovers. End of discussion, really. And you know what? And Saquon Barkley is going to win a Super Bowl and probably win Super Bowl MVP, and I'll cry my eyes out.
How was John Mara going to feel about that when we
He's
saw
not going to sleep.
Hard knocks saying he can't
sleep not
even
sleep.
if they go to the Eagles.
He's
and
not
now he has to watch them. He has to watch Saquon Barkley with the Philadelphia Eagles maybe even win Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's why I think. That's why.
How do you not just tell yourself?
No, because
I gotta fire Joe Shane right now.
No, exactly. That's what I think. Because I know John Mara. Giants fans know him. They know how he operates. He was gonna give Saquon Barkley that deal. We know he was. He gave Daniel Jones the deal he wanted because he respected him. It's the Giants. The way the Giants operate, it's like they operate back in the 60s and the 70s, where they take care of certain players because they've given them, they do that sometimes. They take care of people. Exactly. Here's the thing. I think John was going to do it, but I think Joe put his foot down and said no, because Joe Shane is this cookie cutter, run of the mill GM who fell for the trap of all GMs, they don't pay running backs. Running backs are a dime a dozen. Common GM bullshit. You know what I mean? You don't pay safeties. You don't pay running backs. You let them leave and you replace them and shit like that. And he's not a good GM. He's a dime a dozen GM. You can find a shit ton of Joe Shanes, somewhere else, because nothing about him is special. Nothing about him. So he basically picked the guards that when we were guard shopping, when we were offensive line shopping in the free agency, he picked the third best guard because he didn't want to pay the 2 best guards the top tier money, Robert Hunt and the other guy. I don't know who the other guy was, but it was Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt went to Carolina. Carolina gave him $20 million a year because Robert Hunt was the best guard on the market, and he was probably one of the best guards in the league. And the reason guards are now getting paid $20 million a year is because of Aaron Donald. Because you need guards who can stop people like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's now retired, but guards now get paid that much money because Aaron Donald players in that ilk are now spawning up in the NFL. Dexter Lawrence being one of them. You need a guard who can stop him. So you got to pay guards now $20 million. Shout out to Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald changed the guard market. All the guards in NFL history should be sending Aaron Donald a thank you note every year saying thank you so much now. Now I get paid $20 million a year. Back in the day, how much you pay for a guard?
Everybody got paid less back in the day.
No, exactly. But I'm talking about a couple years ago, the best guard. How much did Zach Martin make his first big contract?
A lot. I think it's
Like
one of the top guards to be paid.
No, I know. Was it like what, like 10, 12 million? Was it, what was it?
I'm not even sure.
But now if Zach Martin came out today on the market, young Zach Martin, by the way, young, I'm talking about young, he would be getting 22 million a year. Like that. Smooth. Because of Aaron Donald. Shout out to Aaron Donald. But yeah, man, I think John was going to give Saquon that contract. And I think, because I think, Joe is an imbecile. And he let Daniel Jones rake him over the coals. But like I keep repeating this all on the show. Now we're talking about the Giants. Let's talk about the Giants now real quick. Then we'll switch over to because we're all picking the Chiefs. Chiefs, picking the Chiefs.
I didn't even give my thoughts on the Super Bowl.
All right, my bad. Caleb, your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Damn. Oh yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. Because the Eagles,
you can't do it.
They're just scummy. They're a scumbag franchise. They're terrible people.
They're both scumbag franchises.
Well, you feel that way. I don't feel that way about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they get some calls and whatever. They don't actually bother me that much. I know everybody else that's different from how everybody else in America feels, that they all hate the Chiefs now. I don't really care for them. But I mean, I don't hate them nearly as much as I hated like the Patriots dynasty. Hated Patriots way more. And I obviously the most thing I hate most in this world is the Philadelphia Eagles. So I never want them to win anything. Definitely not going to want them to win the Super Bowl. So yeah, I hope the Chiefs blow them out. But they don't really blow anybody out. So
not anymore.
I hope for is a win. It's probably going to be close, just like every other Chiefs game, a one-score game. The way they got to win is obviously at least contain Saquon Barkley, and I think they can obviously with Chris Jones in there, and they can do a better job than what Washington did, and they can do
also scheme is definitely better.
Yeah, they can do better job than most teams can do against him. So I don't think, as long as they doesn't have like these really big impactful runs, then I think they can they'll win by that. And then Patrick Mahomes just got to do what he does. He just does exactly enough to win the game, makes the plays when he has to. And everybody else on that team, they got a lot more playmakers now. I think I felt better about the skill position than earlier with, you saw Xavier Worthy making plays in the playoffs, Hollywood Brown making plays. So it's not just all on Travis Kelce.
They have Caleb.
Everything.
Their third receiver is DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
That's insane. So they have D-Hop, Hollywood, Xavier Worthy, and guess what? Guess who else they have? People just forgot about it because he signed late in. They have Juju Smith.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Juju Smith. He's
right there. Playing really good in the playoffs.
He's right there, right? He got cut by New England this year, and then he went back to Kansas City.
That's why it's not going to just be let's all just focus on Travis Kelce. I mean, you can get burned by.
And they have Travis Kelce, and they have former Cowboy Peyton Hendershot.
Yeah,
Chad in. He's gonna win Super Bowl.
I would think more Noah Gray gets more.
No, I know.
He always makes like this sneaky catch that's like really impactful in the game.
No, I know. I was just bringing up Peyton Hendershot because he's a Cowboy and he's about to win a Super Bowl. Over a year, playing for a team formerly known as the Dallas Texans, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, you mentioned running backs. I don't think Pacheco's been that great since he came back.
Well, yeah, he broke his leg, so he give him a minute.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's gonna be that impactful.
Samaje Perine is the guy who's been getting a lot of the
yeah, he did. He had the great third or fourth down, whatever, to ice the game for them. Man
needs a haircut, by the way, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, so I think Kareem Hunt and obviously he's like a battering ram, like he was like running all over teams and breaking tackles. So I think he'll be more the focus. And yeah, like I said, Patrick Mahomes going to do what he needs to do, and that's why they're going to win. And probably I'll say by like 4 points.
Yeah, because also the biggest thing is, right, he talking about the Eagles defensive line, right? Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat, and all those people. Let's talk about the interior of of the Chiefs offensive line. You have guards, Joe Thuney, Trey Smith, and center Creed Humphrey. Those are the keys, right? The biggest problem with Kansas City is their tackles. Because they have Juwan Taylor, cheating mother lover, I swear to God, Juwan Taylor. Wanye Morris, not the singer from Boyz II Men, the football player. I don't know if you got that reference, Caleb, because you only listen to heavy metal.
I only listen to heavy metal. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm kidding. You don't listen to heavy metal. That makes no sense. I was just making a comment. But yeah, that's the key right there. That's the battle. Interior, because I want to look up let me look up the Eagles roster because I want to look up
their much better roster than the Kansas City Chiefs as a whole.
They do.
They have the best offensive line. They have the best weapons on the outside. They have obviously the best running back in the league. They got the best defensive line and
but here's the thing, right. So like the interior of their defense line is Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis. Them. That's the interior. That's going to be the battle. You need to win that right there. Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney, and Trey Smith. This is Trey Smith's last year in Kansas City because he's going to go on the open market and he's going to get $20 million a year as well because he's one of the best guards in the league, just like Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt already set the market for top tier elite guards. You're getting $20 million, and the Chiefs either they're going to pay him $20 million or they're not going to pay him $20 million. I don't think they will because they did let Orlando Brown walk. So they're probably going to let Trey Smith walk, and they'll just replace him through the draft like they always do.
Well, maybe they didn't think Orlando Brown was that good.
Maybe. You're right. But, he's better than Juwan Taylor. That's all I have to say. But, yeah, that's going to be the key. Those three versus those three. Milton, Jordan, Jalen. Then you have the outside linebackers, defensive ends, edges, that BS thing. Josh Sweat and Nolan Smith Jr. against Wanye Morris and Juwan Taylor. Or sometimes they've thrown in Kingsley, the rookie out of BYU, Kingsley Sulamata. Kingsley Suamata'a. He's the rookie who also played tackle. They also have DJ Humphries, the veteran. But I think Wanye and Juwan Taylor are their starters. I saw Kingsley start a couple games. I don't know if he's still their starter because they've rotated. I want to make sure. Who starting tackles? Sorry, my apologies for the Chiefs. Thank you. Their depth chart. Juwan Taylor, and this says they pushed Joe Thuney out to left tackle. But I don't. Okay, I guess, and they have Mike Caliendo as their left guard. So I guess Thuney's playing left tackle. I guess now. I guess now. So yeah. So okay, now I didn't know Joe Thuney can play left tackle. Okay, sounds pretty good then. All right. So it's gonna be Mike Caliendo, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Those gonna be the key right there. And then Joe Thuney with either edge. That's gonna be the key. And I think I think the Eagles defense, those three men, man, they're vicious. They're vicious. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, especially, they're vicious. Jordan Davis is there just to take up space.
They got great pressure on James Daniels. Forcing them to some bad throws. Obviously, Jalen Carter just got after him, but I think that goes to show that sometimes you do need a lot of size in the middle of your offensive line. To work against a guy like Jalen Carter, because Child Biotish is too small. He's a smaller center, and he didn't have any strength. I knew that with the Cowboys. That's why he got worked a lot of the time, because he didn't have any strength. That was a problem. So I don't think that'll be a problem in this game. I think they're a little more beefier, a little more stronger, and obviously that's going to totally wall Jalen Carter, but slow him down a little more than what happened last week.
By the way, I forgot about George Karlaftis when I was talking about similarities with the New York Giants. And see if I know George Karlaftis, one of the best defensive ends in the game that no one really talks about. And it was Mike Dana, not Mike Purnell. I apologize. Mike Dana. That's the guy I don't think gets enough credit because of Chris Jones being there and their other defensive tackle. They run a base 4-3. They run old school base 4-3, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and their 3 linebackers are Drew, Nick, and Leo. And you know what? I think back the way, I was in a space with the New York Giants. Shout out to my boys Monty and Sal, where they talked about the New York Giants deficiencies on the defensive line is they're small. They're surrounded with small pass rushers. Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. They don't have beef on the defensive line of the New York Giants. Their biggest defensive tackle is Dexter Lawrence. They need like Jordan Davis's and Milton Williams is on their defensive line. Big 6'3", 300-pound men. Not this 6'4", 275, 260 defensive. No. We need, if you're going to run your weird 3-4 defense, all right, okay, I expect the 3 defensive linemen to be at least 6'3", 300 pounds. The two defensive linemen bookending your nose tackle, Dexter Lawrence, who uses his speed and strength against the center. You can have your speed rushers on the outside, but your 2 edges are too small. Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns are too small. When a tight end is pushing you away, that's a problem, Caleb. And that's what the Chiefs don't allow to happen. They run 4 defensive linemen, and they're all massive human beings. So let me look at the measurables. Mike Dana is 6'2", 256. All right. Chris Jones, their star defensive lineman, he's 6'6", 310. Trayshawn Warren, his running mate, 6'1", 280. George Karlaftis, 6'4", 263. Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau are under 250. Anybody that I just named is under 250? No. And their backups, Derek Nottie, 6'1", 317. 317. Mike Purnell Jr., the guy I brought up, 6'4", 330. Then here are your speed pass rushers, Charles Omenihu, who's 6'5", 280. And that's your pass rusher. And then you have the 2-year man out of Kansas State, Felix Ondeki Uzuma. He's 6'4", 255. That's your speed pass rusher right there. They're being bullied. They use their speed to get around the edge. But guess what? Sometimes you also need power. Yeah. Just like the Chiefs. They have the power.
Because then you could just kind of lean on them, lean on the opposing side, and it just kind of wears on them.
Because they're going backwards. They got to keep going backwards. You're going forward. It takes a lot of energy to go backwards and hold than to is going forward and attacking. And when you're having to guard a 300-pound man every single time, and here's the deal, especially with the Chiefs who do a lot of rotation, just like the Eagles, they do a lot of rotation. So you're tired, and now there's a fresh other 300-pound person coming after you. Oh, then you're still tired, but now the guy who just took a break is coming back, and then they keep swapping in and out, and you can't be like, hey yo, coach, I'm tired. Guard, you can't do that as guard. You can't do that. So that's what makes guards special. The great guards, where they have to you're playing Black Ops Zombies, Caleb. And it's just waves of zombies. Just waves of zombies. The first wave you can handle, right? First wave you can handle. Second wave, okay, you got it. You're still good. Third wave, it's getting a little tough, but you're still good. Fourth wave, oh God, there's more zombies. Fifth wave, oh, more zombies. That's how guards play football.
Well, it doesn't get really hard till level 20.
But. Okay, well, I haven't played zombies in years, Caleb. So what do you want from me? I'm sorry. But yeah, man, see, like Milton Williams. Let's talk about Milton Williams. He's 6'3", 290. Jordan Davis, the gigantic human being that he is, 6'6", 336. Jalen Carter, 6'3", 314. Now they're edges. Nolan Smith, and Josh Sweat. Nolan Smith is 6'2", 238. He's their speed pass rusher. He's a little small. Josh Sweat, he's 6'5", 265. So Nolan Smith's their smallest pass rusher. Probably he's their speed guy, maybe, and stuff like that. But still, they're three linemen. The smallest lineman is 290. He's 10 pounds away from 300 pounds. They're basically all 300 pounds. And they're just going to wear each other out. And I think the Chiefs, I can't pick the Eagles, man. I just can't do it. Like, ethically, it's impossible. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. But if the Eagles win, I'm not going to be shocked. Because they ran the ball, and those three monsters on the Eagles defensive line made an impact against Mike Caliendo, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Because how you beat Patrick Mahomes is how you beat Tom Brady. Pressure up the middle. Because he wants to step up. Either he wants to step up and slide.
That's how the Buccaneers beat him.
That's how the Buccaneers, exactly. Because he wants to step up so he can either slide right or left to scramble or step up to throw the ball. If he can't step up, it's all over. It's all over. I'm going to go to Chiefs for ethical reasons. But now, speaking of ethical reasons,
we'll say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys have a new head coach. Caleb, who is he?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Excuse me? What?
You know who he is.
It is Brian Schottenheimer, son of the legendary Marty Schottenheimer. You got to get the gleam, men. The gleam. You got to get the gleam. But unlike his dad, he's not that good of a coach. Yeah. But also, to Caleb, another breaking news is the Cowboys have also signed their offensive coordinator. Their new offensive coordinator is former Arizona Cardinals offensive line coach Clayton Adams. He spells his name with a K. You already know he's not a good person, because who does that? Adams spent the last 2 seasons in that role for the Cardinals and is well regarded across the league for his run game. Ooh, the run game. Ooh, the run game.
Oh, yeah, run game. We had no running backs.
The Cardinals had the 7th ranked run game in the league last year and are 2nd in yards per carry. Shout out to James Conner. But Rico Dowdle is an unrestricted free agent. He just had 1,000 yards.
Our running back room looks like your quarterback room. Empty.
Zero. By the way, shout out to Jay. 30 million and 2 small. Yikes. Yeah, Jay, I said it. You guys won that trade, even though you guys did nothing with those picks, but you guys won that trade. Charles Omeni, he's underrated. Jay, got to do the Easter eggs. Is he a head coach, though? Yeah, he is now a head coach. There's time to switch teams. Caleb, no, Caleb is stuck, man.
No,
Caleb is stuck.
If I did, it wouldn't mean anything. It just would be hollow.
Yeah.
No.
I was fun fact, not a fun fact, but a fact. I switched to become a Chargers fan for a weekend. Be like, I'm gonna become a Chargers fan, right? Because you know why? Let me tell you why. Because I chose a team that no one would accuse me of being a bandwagon fan, right? So I just became a Chargers fan because who's gonna make fun of Chargers? Who's gonna make fun of me?
They did accuse you of the Asian lady being bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a good point. But me, I was like, I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert from Oregon. I love the, shout out to them. They have cool jerseys. I had an LT jersey growing up. The weekend I was a Chargers fan. That one weekend, Caleb, they got beat down by the Broncos. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just cursed. Period. So I became a non-fan for a couple weeks. But then the New York Giants, I just came back. I just came back crawling back to the New York Giants, just to be used and abused, my man. What's up, Mr. How you doing, Mr. Ochoa? How you doing? But yeah, Clayton Adams, Caleb, Brian Schottenheimer.
These are awful hires.
I want me some glory hole.
There's no glory hole. This is the opposite. This is the opposite of the glory hole. This is a pit of death and despair.
This is exactly how I looked at when he hired Brian Schottenheimer. This is how I thought Jerry Jones was.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Exactly. This is exactly who Jerry was going to hire.
Yeah.
He needed a puppet.
It fit all his criteria. A guy
Yeah.
who's been with the team, a guy who he's comfortable with. It's just what he was familiar. And we'll go with the quote that I put in the Discord. He says, what do you say? What do you say?
If you don't think I can operate outside my comfort zone, you're so wrong. This hiring, this is a big risk as you can take. No head coaching experience.
That is the most moronic and stupid thing he's ever said. And it's just a complete lie. What are you talking about out of your comfort zone? This is literally what you've already done this before. You've literally made this hire before. It was called Dave Campo. It was a guy who was a coordinator beforehand that you upgraded to head coach who had no head coaching experience before. What are you talking about? That's a risk. You've literally done it before. You did it with Jason Garrett before. You've done it twice before. What are you talking about? That's so stupid to say. You're just plain lying. There's no risk in this. This is just what you like to do. You like to go with what's familiar and what a coach that's not going to push back and not going to say anything that goes against you, that's going to do exactly what you want and keep making us lose because it's exactly what you just want to keep on the status quo. You don't want to get better. You just want to do what you want to do, and it's not winning because this is not going to make us better. He does nothing for the offense. He did nothing for the offense the past 2 years. He didn't call the plays. Mike McCarthy called the plays. So what did he do? He did nothing. He did nothing to get this offense better. This was a terrible hire, especially when you have other guys that everybody else is interviewing, but you refuse to interview. And you interview a guy who nobody wanted to interview. So it makes you look like a bunch of damn idiots because you think you're smarter than everybody else in interviewing a guy and you say you're taking a risk when you're not. You're just taking exactly what you have taken before. It's dumb. And then he's going to hire a bunch of guys, a bunch of mediocre coordinators, a mediocre offensive line coach, a mediocre staff to fill it out. And we're going to be a mediocre team because you don't know how to run this team. And you keep making dumbass decisions like this because you just keep making money. And that's all you want to do. And good for you. But we're just going to be what we've been. And it's not winning anything significant.
Speaking of mediocre coordinators, he did get his defensive coordinator being Matt Eberflus. Oh, shout out to, by the way,
great. Credit. More familiarity. A guy we already had who hasn't produced anything, who hasn't won anything, who we didn't win anything with.
Well, I just want to give credit to Todd Archer. We're getting all the information from Todd. Shout out to Todd, he being the Cowboy correspondent for ESPN. But as a defense coordinator, though, Matt Eberflus did do a good job in Indianapolis. They were the 30th ranked scoring and total defense to number 10 and 11 respectively. And his three out of his 4 years in Indianapolis, they had top 10 defenses in both categories, and twice they were top 10 in yards. So defensively, you may have a good coordinator like like Dan Quinn with Mike McCarthy. You may have a good coordinator that way, but it's really everyone keeps talking about is the offensive side of the ball. Something is lacking. There is no juice. There's no oomph. There's no, there's no go get them.
I mean, that was the problem with Jason Garrett. He was new and innovative when he first became the play caller way back in the day, and then he got stale. And Mike McCarthy didn't want to change at all either. But that's just how that's what I'm saying. There is no risk. Don't take risks. Just keep it the same old. And there's nothing creative or innovative. You see how creative and innovative Andy Reid has been with all the different types of play calls he likes to do. Sean McVay's or anybody else like that's very creative, and why they keep ending up in the playoffs and going for Super Bowls. And that is not the guys we hire. We hire these lame ass guys that don't do crap and don't change, and we don't modify what they want to do, and that's why we lose all the time in the playoffs. And we'll be just the same mediocre team we've always been for the last 30 years.
And you guys did hire a special team coordinator, being Nick Sorensen, the former defensive coordinator from San Francisco. So, speaking of more mediocreness, the Niners are glad they got rid of him. Niners fans are happy he's gone. He ruined the defense in the Niners fans' opinions. That's why they replaced him with Robert Saleh, and that's why people are happy that way. So, but he's going to become the special teams coordinator, who he replaced Bones Fossil, who's going to Tennessee to work with Brian Callahan and his dad. Is it Brian and Brian? Are they both named Brian? Bill. Brian and Bill. My bad. Sorry, I thought it was both Brian's. So Brian and Bill. Bones is going there. Nick knows Schottenheimer from when they worked for Seattle and Jacksonville. He's not going to the Senior Bowl apparently, but he really doesn't need to because he doesn't really pick the players.
It's like all these coaches from a bunch of teams who've done nothing and won nothing and a bunch of mediocre crap.
Yeah, him not going to Senior Bowl to me because he was a Cowboy. I have no problem with it because Cowboys head coaches don't pick their players. They never did. They never will. That's Jerry and Will McClay's job. And so more. Let's see. Let's change the subject and get some good news on the roster. Will McClay, shout out to Todd Archer one again.
That's the one good news.
The one good thing, Will McClay has signed an extension. According to sources, it's a multi-year extension. We don't know how long the extension is. But he's been there since 2014. He's overseen Cowboys scouting since 2014. He's found 15 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pros through the draft. A key retention as club moves forward with new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. He will also still be the VP of player personnel, which basically means he's the GM, but he doesn't have the title because Jerry's the GM. And
he's paid like one. I'm pretty sure.
He's paid like one. Basically,
see the numbers, but I can guarantee he's probably paid.
Yeah, like he's definitely paid like GMs and stuff like that because it happens. People say he doesn't do the first round. That's Jerry's domain. Is that true?
No, because otherwise we would have Johnny Manziel and.
That's what I'm saying, right? So that's what I'm saying. Will McClay has whiffed on a couple of first round picks, but he's also hit on a lot of first round picks because it's not an exact science.
But we've had a lot of good players coming.
Exactly, for every Taco Charlton's, you have CD Lamb, Michael Parsons and Zach Martins.
Travis Frederick,
Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Des Bryant.
Yeah, a lot of good first round picks.
And people only want to talk about the 2 times you selected defensive lineman from Michigan.
Yeah,
failed you.
Terrible picks. He's had 2 bad drafts.
Back to back.
With Mozzie Smith and Tyler Guyton. Obviously, Tyler Guyton can get better. We don't know, but it doesn't.
Is the whole draft bad or just the first round pick? Because he did also find DeRon Bland.
23. Well, no, that was 3 drafts ago.
DeRon Bland?
Yeah, that was 3 drafts ago.
Oh, it's already been 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mozzie. The only good in the Mozzie draft was DeMarvio Overshown.
Yes.
He was the only good player, and then this last one, we'll see. We'll see. There was a couple of good guys. Marshawn Nealon played, pretty good, but he wasn't anything great. Or Leo Fowl wasn't anything great.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But it doesn't seem like back-to-back drafts haven't been great.
Yeah.
But I trust in him because, like I said, we've already, like we just said, we've got a ton. Most of our talented guys has been drafted. Whether you want to see CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, Dak Prescott, Trey Diggs, Vaughn, all drafted guys.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to do with Will McClay's scouting and is
changing Caleb's name to Dylan because he's spitting hot fire.
And I do trust in him. I like him. He's had a couple bad ones, but I still trust him to turn around and still find really good players in this draft.
Yeah, and people have been asking because he's recently. People are asking why isn't he leaving? Why isn't he leaving? Because he's the GM of the Cowboys. Really, he just doesn't have the title. Like it's like people think like football people know. Football people know who the real GM of the Cowboys is. They know. The casual fan doesn't, because the casual fan doesn't look up the player personnel staff all the time. You know, like the fan that's there to watch the game knows the basic information, but I know like the football sickos who look up, you know, who's the assistant GM, or who's the GM of this, or who's our special teams coordinator, or who's that, and stuff like that. They know Will McClay's really the GM of the Cowboys. He doesn't have the title as GM. He's VP of player personnel. And I think he oversees all of scouting. I think college scouting and pro scouting, he oversees that as well. But football people and football players know who the GM is.
Yeah. I
Jerry,
mean, I guess
yeah.
any control is like maybe like trade ups and trade downs, and them going to Jerry like, oh, Jerry, we should be doing this. Obviously he has the last decision of we'll go ahead.
Like most owners.
Yeah.
You're a GM or president. I was like, hey, we're gonna do this. You're gonna run it past the owner, duh. And 9 times out of 10, if the owner trusts you, you're gonna do it. If the owner doesn't trust you, you're probably not gonna be there that long. You know what I mean? So he's the GM.
Yeah,
and he probably doesn't want to leave Dallas. He probably
now in the direction that they want, how they want to, create the team, or how they want to do the contracts, or how they exactly what they want to make the team build. That I do think a lot, Jerry. I do think he has way too much influence on that.
Yeah, the contracts.
Like saying this is the guy we want, or we want to go after this guy in free agency, or we don't like not going after Derrick Henry, or saying we're fine with our guys, or we like our guys. I think a lot of that is Jerry.
Yeah, I think it's Jerry.
And that's the problem I have with them. The team building of it, like saying in what direction this team is going to be. That I think it has heavily influenced by Jerry.
Who do they give money, and who do they give money to, and when they give money to?
Yeah.
Not giving Dak Prescott his contract earlier cost them a lot of money, because when he broke his ankle, you guys tanked, which they gave him more leverage to get more money. You know what I mean? Like, getting injured actually helped Dak Prescott in negotiations, because it forced you guys to play Cooper Rush and Andy Dalton, and you guys sucked. And then the negotiations came around in the summer. Jerry basically was bent over, and Dak got whatever he wanted. You know what I mean? Just like what happened with Emmitt Smith. You guys went 2-2. Jerry panicked, gave Emmitt his money, and you guys still won the Super Bowl, but you panicked and gave Emmitt his money. You know what I mean? Back then. So yeah, like, you're right. Like, I think Will finds the players. Steven and Jerry pay them.
Yeah.
I think Will, he's the GM, but there's, when it's time
it's like a limited GM.
Yeah, when it's time to talk money, Will ain't in the room. He's not there dealing out. Ezekiel Elliott, he holds out. You guys are not very good. Guess what happened? He gets his money.
Yeah, and it's like that was like such a stupid decision. He's the only guy. The running back position was the only one that got the deal early. And you didn't get the quarterback early. You didn't get the receiver early. You didn't get the pass rusher early. You all waited on all of them, but Zeke is the one that got early. That's the kind of stupid decisions that has led to this team being where it's at.
Yeah. And on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us on one last time.
We'll say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate you. A Hall of Famer, Jimmy Johnson. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. You guys have a wonderful Super Bowl party weekend, wherever you are. Am I working on Super Bowl? Am I working on Super Bowl Sunday? I don't think so. By the way, I think the following Monday should be a national holiday, but that's just me. But on that note, everyone,
they could just make it a week later, and then they wouldn't even have to do that.
They could. Well, that means they start the season a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah, they could. Oh, unless if they add the 18th week, it's definitely going to get moved back. If they do the 18th week.
They could do that.
If they do the 18th game,
they'll just take a preseason game.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but
unless they put a bye, unless they put 2 buys.
No, they're gonna.
So
players have said if 2 buys, they want 2 buys. It'll be 19 weeks. It'll be 19 weeks. Not 18 games, 19 weeks.
Super Bowl week will be President's
Day weekend. Yeah. They'll probably. That's what they want. Personally, I was okay with 16. I don't even know why they had to do 18. It's dumb. But
it's like
just me.
Sometimes I like it because I just want more. I want to watch more football, so I
No.
like it for that reason. But then other times when I'm like my team, like when the Cowboys are like one of the top seeds, and I'm like, let's get the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
let's get it done. Like then you're just kind of waiting.
Doing a mock draft for Cowboys Jensen? Yeah, probably. When
Yeah, that won't be
when
till draft week.
NFL Combine week. That's when we get all the information. All the information, combine, pro days, all that. I really don't give a shit about no pro days because pro days are basically sculpted to make you look good. Like to this day, I don't understand why people thought Zach Wilson was gonna be a good quarterback because he threw the ball 70 yards unbothered at his pro day. And I'm like, ooh, look! Like I remember watching the NFL Network coverage of his pro day, and all the NFL Network guys were like, ooh, look at Zach Wilson. Oh my God. QB2, Zach Wilson. He threw the ball against air. No one was rushing him. DB was wide open. I don't get the Shrine Bowl already happened. The Shrine Bowl actually happened yesterday. The Senior Bowl hasn't happened yet. You're doing one
And the Senior Bowl tomorrow.
I think the Senior Bowl is tomorrow. I think, yeah. I think it's tomorrow. So the Shrine Bowl happened yesterday. Yes, we are doing a watch along of the Super Bowl. By the way, Super Bowl day, we'll be doing a watch along of it. We've been doing this for every year. Our teams have not been in it at all, so we're just watching football, having fun. I eat chips.
I don't think our teams are going to be in it anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. It's never going to happen. Thank God Rihanna played the halftime show that one year. I was very happy because I needed some, I don't know what year did she play I don't know.
Last year.
Was it last year? No, it wasn't last year, was it?
It was last year.
No, was last year in LA?
No, that wasn't her in LA.
No, but it was last year LA.
No.
What was last year?
I don't remember. It was Vegas.
Oh yeah. Usher was there. Yeah, I don't like Usher.
Was last year.
Yeah, I don't like. The problem with Usher is he played his songs too fast. He played like a minute of one song and like a minute of another song. He should have picked a couple of songs and played them.
I don't remember anything from that show.
No, exactly. It was too much. It was too much because he went too fast. He went too fast. He should have picked a couple of songs, his hits, and played them. Played his songs. But he tried to play every single hit. And he only did a minute a hit. And I'm like, nah, Usher, that's not good, man. Because his Vegas residency, he plays the whole song and it's amazing. And it's that's why he got Vegas, because of the Vegas residency. You ever been one of them Vegas residencies, Caleb? You ever been to one of them?
Nope.
Nothing. Adele had one. Usher had one. Britney Spears had one.
Yeah, I don't listen to any of those.
Okay, 50 Cent has one. Would you go to see 50 Cent?
I mean, someone gave me a free ticket.
Okay, that's a good point. So yeah, we'll be doing the watch along. 1 year I had chips and a hot dog and a soda, and I acted like I was at a barbecue. But so there's that. So yeah. Well, on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Join us Super Bowl Sunday for our watch along. We appreciate it. We'll probably do a mock draft just for the hell of it. But on that note, everyone, thank you. Caleb, tell where people can find you. Let me find out my schedule.
You can find me at NFL Kids22 on Instagram and Twitter/X. You can find me on this channel, on Betting the NFL on Wednesdays, 8:00. But we'll have just one last show of the season. That is next week on Wednesday, 8:00. Please tune in for that. It's going to be our Super Bowl preview. Is going to be the biggest day in betting of the year. So you're going to want to go watch that show because I'm going to have a ton of prop bets for you to bet on, and what my thoughts were, what I'm going to bet on, where I'm putting my money at. Obviously, who's going to win the game, over and under totals. And then obviously D-Weezy will have all his different type of prop bets that he will be betting on. So definitely tune on that so you guys can win some money. So last chance of the season to win some money. So tune in for that.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much. My name is Ferris Muthana. Call me at Ferris Muthana on Twitter, _Ferris_Muthana on Instagram, ferrismuthana.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. I'm around every Friday, 3:00 Pacific here, every Thursday, 3:00 Pacific live on our entertainment channel. And then I'll also be smattering. I'll also be showing up on my the Daredevil post credit thing. I'm also on that as well. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful time, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace. No, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Peace. No, come on, play that.